6'1.5", 180.
All right. Brandon, been here a while, matured a lot, done some good things over your career, and only expected to get better. Talk to me about your first game, when it was, the first 2 games when it was, up until this point.
Well, sophomore year I played against Hillsborough. That was my first game, my first start. I actually had a pretty bad first play, fumbled the snap. You know, but I mean Holloway still picked it up and still got like 25 yards. But we lost that game. It was a close game. It was 2013. We should have actually won that game for sure. We had I threw like 4 picks, but that was my first game. I was a little nervous. And then my second game was against Armwood, one of the best teams in the nation, like 3rd that year or something like that. And they were definitely just pounding us in the mouth. We weren't even ready for it.
Now talk to me how those 2 poundings, or those 2 games, that 1 pounding until now, going into your senior year.
Well, I mean, those are the top 2 teams basically in this area, a couple of the top 2 teams. So, I mean, it got me ready for, like, what competition is going to be out there. And, like, so it kind of helped me, like, so, like, I felt like other teams were easier because they're one of the top 2 teams. And, like, if I could throw against them, I can throw basically against anybody in this area.
Good. Talk to me about the Sickles, Gaither, Alonso rivalry. You guys have had this forever, especially since Alonso popped up in the new school and pulled from both of those schools. Talk about how that friendly at times, not friendly at other times. Talk about the significance of that rivalry. I
mean, we all have friends on those teams, but I mean, we've always hated against each other and like playing against each other. We always, if whoever wins, basically talk smack the rest of the week and just talk smack the next year until the next game we play them. I mean, Gaither, they're basically our rival now because what Chick did in the middle of the Star. So I mean, that they kind of had to try to get some payback on us last year, but we beat them last year. Okay. So hopefully we're gonna do that again this year. And then that's about it.
So is Sickles or Gaither the rival? I mean,
Sickles for sure.
So Sickles more the rival than Gaither?
Yes, sir.
All right. Talk about some of your guys over there that you think are pretty good players over at Sickles.
Well, we have a couple players that transferred over there, like Tony Valdez and Jacarius Crittenden. They were once here. So I mean that brings rivals too when like other players transfer from like our school to their school or their school to our school. So I mean that brings rivals too. I mean, but those 2 I know of that are pretty good players. And Nate Mills is a good quarterback. Also, Nate transferred too.
How have you improved individually as a player?
Individually, well, I'm always working hard. I'm the leader on the field. I know everybody's position, their job, what they're even supposed to do. And now I'm getting a little bit of defense, so I know what our defense is supposed to do, like safety-wise, corners, and all those. So, I mean, that helps me in my game, too, for coverage-wise. Like, all the coverage, I know I learn them quicker just by being on the defensive side, too. So, I mean, I just working hard and just throwing my receivers and stuff, 7-on-7s, all that. It just gets our timing down and, like, who I can depend on like, the tough situations, who I can't, and all that.
All right, that's good stuff, man. Now, talking about recruiting-wise, you're taking some trips here, or you expect to take some trips here in the near future. Tell me where you've been and where you expect to be going.
Well, so far I've been to South Alabama. They were on me pretty decent, but they're only taking 1 quarterback this year. Okay. So that's going to have to work really hard this fall season to get something from them. Jacksonville University and USF. USF was a pretty good experience. I feel like I can compete with anybody at that level. I'm just ready to basically for anything.
Okay. Now, what do you have coming up?
Coming up, I'm supposed to be going to some Ivy League schools like Princeton and Penn. I'm planning on visiting some of those schools. I got Delaware I'm probably going to go to, Stony Brook, Presbyterian, a couple of those schools. It's like all in July, the beginning of July.
Tell me some schools that are showing you the strongest and most genuine attention right now.
Probably Valparaiso. Okay. Valparaiso, they've been sending me a lot of stuff, and I've been trying to call the coach, but he hasn't called back or anything. He hasn't picked up. So them, and just the Ivy League schools like Penn and Princeton, they showed me a lot of interest too.
When you critique yourself on film, when you watch yourself on film, what do you think you do particularly well?
Basically knowing like the coverages and like seeing where like the weaknesses will be in that coverage, so like I can depend on which routes are coming depending on like what concept we got going. Like I'll be able to know like exactly basically where I'm going. If it's not there, I know my second read too.
And what do you think you need to get better at?
Probably play fakes and stuff like that. Like when I give the ball, I like usually like looking at the running back instead of like carrying out my fakes. Probably work on that a little bit better.
All right, now tell us, last but not least, Tell us why Brandon Hawkins is the man and what Alonso fans should expect coming up.
I mean, I'm a team player. I'm not going to say I'm the man, but I'm pretty confident in myself that I can do the job, get the job done. I can play at any level. I can beat any team in Hillsborough County. I'm just ready to play football, basically.
All right, man. Nice job.
All right, man.